a preference. I've played mostly like with Chat GPT, a couple of other toys. Getting
Yep.
more into Claude
Right.
now. Is there like when you get to the top of the mountain, you know, uh,
Yeah.
do you have like a preference? Do you use one to check the other, or I'm
Well,
just general
yeah, it's a
comments?
great question.
Your
And
general
I will tell
comments.
you that, I may not be a representative sample because I've been working with them since 2021. Um, so I use them in an extremely flexible way in the sense of where I will have them, at war with each other, arguing, right? Just to get to the bottom kernel nugget. And so that's called an actor critic model, and that's very
Mm,
powerful. So if you say, I'm going to use Claude for creating the plan, and I'm going to use ChatGPT for verifying the plan, you're
mm,
you're spreading out some of that. I guess without getting in, I'm trying to avoid some technical stuff here, but the idea is that you're spreading out the biases, right?
okay.
And the reason
Okay.
I gave three different services in the handbook was because ChatGPT, you could argue, has the most kind of availability and corpus. That would be my argument,
Mm,
right? They're
mm,
typically right ahead, like they're kind of right ahead, then Claude beats them. But it's kind of just a race back and forth. For me, Claude is really good for project folder management, as an
mm,
example. I just like the way that they
okay.
do it better, and there's more flexibility on some of their API pricing. So,
Okay.
however, DeepSeek, which is I offered as a third option, is probably the least constrained model because it's
Mm,
non-US based.
mm,
So if
mm,
you want to be able to ask questions that ChatGPT or Claude won't answer for you, it might be good to have a backup to be DeepSeek because it
mm,
will answer some questions, but if you ask it about certain questions, it won't answer those. So you have to
okay.
understand the data sets that you're working with, because
Mm,
it's not one oracle to rule them all. It's a changing and evolving market. One thing I would love to have a longer session on is how to host your own. Ultimately, I
mm,
don't want to be beholden to some giant organization that I don't have any control over. It's one of those functional things where you say, hey, I want this in my house. If it's this powerful, I don't want to have to
okay.
rely on somebody else for it. And so, if that's where you want to go with it, absolutely.